Hey everyone, so I'm here to talk about love, and it's a very big topic in this world. Obviously, it's the most intense, complicated, mysterious emotion that we humans experience in this world, and it's pretty crazy what a person would do that is totally in love with somebody. And I just kind of want to talk about this theory that I have about it. But first, we're going to define love from what Mr. Webster how he defines it. So, okay, I have my phone, okay, and it's a noun, and a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person, a feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection as a parent, child, or friend, sexual passion or desire. Those are the 3 bullet points there, which is kind of funny because my theory kind of involves exactly that. I believe that there are like 3 categories that a person loves. Like, obviously you have your family, it's unconditional no matter what, and like as big as your family gets, there's always love to go around, doesn't matter, and it's pretty much just undying, growing thing that just doesn't end, which is pretty cool. And then you have your friends. You're like, when someone does something fucking so awesome, you're like, oh man, I love you. And that care that goes into it for your friends, and you can have, and then sometimes that can die, or it can grow, or it kind of that wishy-washy friend thing. So, and then you have your chosen partner, the one, or your soulmate, or the person you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, your, I don't know, life partner, husband, wife, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the person you're seeking out to spend the rest of your life with, basically. And I think this whole last category, there's like a love bank. And it's reserved for one person. So here's my little love bank, okay? My little love bank. And it is filled with all kinds of things like attention and, how much you think about this person, and how much you'll do and sacrifice for this person. But it's only for one person, right? So here's your bank, right? And as soon as it's full with this one person, you really have no more attention for anybody else. You have your mind's pretty much focused on this one person. So once your love bank here, I feel like I'm talking about sleep bank too. I'm really tired. Once your love bank starts to kind of like, okay, well, I only have so much attention for this person, and then you kind of like shorten it. As soon as the other person starts to come in, it's like, okay, this is what happens. Like, they just take over into. It's only meant for like one slot. It's like one person, and you really don't have any time to do like all of these special things for more than one person. It's just not possible. And I think this example makes total sense because everyone's experienced a breakup, and that phrase, you have to kind of get over that person you just broke up with or broke up with you before you start moving on. And that's because you're in love with the person. You're totally in love. You're totally bitter. You hate that person. You're infatuated. You're obsessed, for one. And it consumes you. It totally consumes you. And when you're going through a breakup, all the things that were happening when you're with this person, they don't just go away. It takes time for it to fade, and then you can have someone else in your love bank. Along with the love thing, I talked about attention and sacrifice. It's like you only have so many minutes in a fucking day. You only have so many minutes to spare to talk, text, communicate, give attention to, spend time with this certain person. And if you're actually spreading yourself so thin, then everybody that you're hanging with or, loving, apparently, or caring about or whatever, they're only going to get bits and pieces of you. So when you have that one person that you're totally in love with, it's like, there's only one slot, I believe there's just one slot if you're really, really in love with somebody. Like, you can only sacrifice so much for, so many people, because then you're going to start living your life for everybody else and not for you, and that sucks. You cannot be so deeply, severely in love with someone and someone else, meaning like more than one person, because it's just not possible. It's like, how the hell does your brain wrap around being obsessed 2 different people at the same time? In my experience, it does not happen, because I have been totally obsessed with somebody, and then I'm just like, oh, you know, you get over that person and move on to the next person, and then they were around when the other person was around, but you never had felt that way until that the first obsession actually goes away, and then you actually, oh, okay, yeah, that guy, and you're like, okay, that guy's gone, so I have to move on to the next guy, kind of thing. So it's like you know, your mind can only wrap around so much, I feel like. Well, love-wise, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to diminish the power of your brain and all that shit. But there's only one number one. There's only one number one. That's all I gotta say. And if you think that's not true, I think you're just being in denial. I really think you're just being in denial. Like, there's gonna be a ranking. You know, like when you have like 10 messages on your phone, text, voicemails, or whatever, and you see who they're listed by, which one do you look at first? You know, like say you are dating someone, or say you are, you know, dating a few different people, and then, you know, there's that one person, you're like, oh, okay, I want to read his message first, or I want to read her message first, or whatever. You know, when you wake up in the morning, who is the first person that you think about? You know, there's always going to be a first. And that first person is going to be that one that's, you know, going to be your number one.